Polar Race 2011, probably the world's toughest race. This year, just getting to Resolute was tough in itself. After 3 days and many planes, we finally arrived.
Hey, we're here! We've arrived!
Lucy and Joe, you finally arrived at Resolute Bay.
Oh, 3 days! Such a relief! It's taken so long to get here.
Feeling very far away from home. This is definitely not Africa. So it's great to be here eventually after quite a few flights. But I'm very glad I've purchased this hat because it's pretty chilly outside. So yeah, I'm happy to be here.
Yeah, hello Resolute Bay. Here we are. We made it after quite a long time. Bit of a journey. It's cold outside, -25, but it's not as cold as it's going to be colder. So I expect a lot about my nostrils freezing, and it has sort of. So it's been fantastic weather today. Been on the plane for a long time, but look at the size of that bear behind me.
We're here. All right, we're here. We're in Resolute Bay. We made it, finally. It's amazing, and it's just gorgeous outside. I'm really, really excited about the next month we have ahead of us. We're going to be cold, but if the weather's anything like it is today, it's just amazing. It's stunning. We're here.
We're in Resolute now, which is good because it's been about 2 years since we started this, or I started it. So I'm happy to be here. And I've got all these chumps running around in the back of me now doing like a relay, which makes it quite difficult to be serious about being here. But yeah, it's fantastic. Thank you, Ryan.
First time ever on skis. I never had the privilege of actually getting on a pair of skis before, except for maybe once when I was in grade 6. But that was an absolute blast. I'm just so excited for the rest of the race so that I can go out and ski some more. And I picked up something new, so now we get to come in and make all the changes. I found that my goggles fogged up a little bit, so I'm going to change things up a little bit and get them working.
You just come in from your first ski, how's it?
It was good. It's really good. I really enjoyed it. It was lots of fun. We've been back out again. We enjoyed it so much. It was good with technique and went around the pond. Loved it. I'm looking forward to the next time.
We've had our first ski. It was very cool. I'm glad I only fell over once, which was a bit of an interesting one on some of the slopes. There's a bit of technique. I think there's a knack to get here, but I'm sure in the next few days we'll get it down. I just can't believe Ryan on the skis. First time on skis, he was a natural. So yeah, pretty happy with that, and pretty sure we can improve in the next few days, and very excited.
Okay, yeah, today was very interesting. Went out and skis for the first time. Small group, half of the group had done a lot of downhill skiing, quite experienced, but very little Nordic cross-country skiing. 3 of the group had never skied in their life before, so very interesting. Went out and we did a loop round the Resolute round the bay, and I was very, very pleased. No breakages on any of the bindings, which is very unusual. Everybody kept up with everybody else, and everybody had a lot of fun. It was good. Everybody did really, really well. One of the groups went out and even practiced a little bit more. So it's good for the first time. And then tomorrow we'll be putting the pulks on the back of the skis. They'll be pulling for the first time, and looks good.
The racers need to acclimatise as quickly as possible and therefore spend their first night in Resolute Bay camped out in -25 in a tent.
Can I smell perfume on someone?
I like to stay fresh when I camp.
Okay, welcome to the tent of the Internationals, also known as Hot Cross Buns. We're a united team from different nations. My name's Ryan Malfera, and I'm from Toronto, Canada. So here in my own country, we're in Resolute Bay tonight and spending our first night in the tent. And I can tell you right now, I'm roasting. It's -18 degrees outside, and my legs are sweating buckets. So not probably a good thing, but sweat. Yeah, but if this is a sign of anything to come, I'm okay. The sleeping will at least be comfortable.
So the bags are good, yeah?
The bags are great.
Bags are definitely good.
Down sleeping bags, extremely comfortable. Well, we've got good weather, so it's -18, so it does feel very, very nice. And I'm absolutely cooking at the moment in here, completely.
I think the key is to have a good hat. It'll keep you warm. That's my strategy so far.
And my teammate, this is Rob Platt, and he's from the UK, and Lee Swan, she's here from South Africa, so a little bit of an element change.
Yep.
Yeah.
Hi, we're the Polar Slugs. My name's Jo Winchcombe and we're in our tent for the first night camping out in the Arctic.
My name's Lucy Maisels and I'm obviously one of the Polar Slugs. First night out, it's taken an absolute effort to get into the sleeping bag. I'm kind of sweating and exhausted just from doing this, so I'm hoping I'm going to get better at it. But yeah, excited. I think it's going to be a nice evening.
Very warm.
And I'm
Hopefully.
Rob McAllister and the third slug. And yeah, I'm absolutely boiling. In fact, it's about -20 outside, and it's boiling in here. It's scorcho, and I've got too many sleeping bags and shirts and stuff on, so I thought it was going to be hard. It's actually really it's pretty easy so far. Jo?
Well,
I'll
let you know in the morning
the whole time.
Yeah.
how easy it is. But it certainly feels snuggly buggly.
Yeah, it's a bit uncomfortable in here. I'm lying on Lucy's wee bottle, which is a first.
But it is empty.
It is empty at the moment as well. Yeah, I'm glad I'm at the end. A quick escape.
Morning.
Morning. Polar Slugs here.
This is the morning after your first night out. And you sounded quite cheery this morning, so you obviously had a reasonably good night.
It wasn't too bad.
It wasn't disastrous at all.
Interesting.
It was definitely fairly cold because there is ice on the outside of my sleeping bag and on the outside of the tent.
And on my hat.
So
Yeah, it was cold, but I think it was more cold around our faces.
Yeah, face got very cold.
And sleeping with a lot of electronic equipment is a new experience. I really don't want to relive, but I'm going to have to.
I've got a new bed partner as well.
Oh, really?
A bottle of wee.
Shiwi.
I use the shiwi.
In the sleeping bag?
Oh no, I'm not that brave. No, I came into the porch and crouched.
Well done.
So it didn't get that cold, we don't think, about -25.
but I'm not looking particularly forward to it becoming sort of much colder than that because whilst I wasn't cold, I wasn't sort of roasty toasty.
And if people were questioning why we were called the Polar Slugs, I think you could probably realise exactly why now.
Morning, the internationals.
Good morning.
Morning.
How was your first night out?
Cold.
Very cold. I stripped down last night. I was in my boxers thinking that it was tropical weather out here. And I woke up this morning absolutely frozen. Feet and everything.
Yeah.
So at the moment I'm wearing one sock. I can't find the other one. It's somewhere inside the sleeping bag. I've kind of half-assed put my trouser things on as well, my underlayer, and then it's just cold. Bit of a lesson. Took the fleece out as well.
Yeah.
So a real lesson in that I wasn't actually that warm when I went to sleep last night.
Right.
We're definitely leaving the fleeces in from now on. And pee bottles are an amazing invention. They're a little heater inside the sleeping bag. So I was quite thankful for the pee bottle.
Is it yours or someone else's?
No, we're not that close yet.
How was your night, Lee?
Yeah, it was okay. My sleeping mat slid down the hill under Ryan's body. So I slept with my sleeping bag pretty much on the deck. So I felt the full cold of snow underneath me. So I made some adjustments, and that was Ryan's wake-up call this morning to get my mat back. But other than that, okay-ish. Just put my socks back on, which was a bit of a contortionist act in the sleeping bag, but I'm sure I'll get used to it. Feeling okay-ish at the moment, but quite a tough night.
But all in all, would you say good, bad, or horrendous experience?
Cold.
Cold, yeah. I wouldn't say horrendous, but I don't think I've actually slept. So, and I'm wearing one sock. So, but it was all right.
So you have one foot that's warm.
I've only got one foot. Yeah.
Slugs and internationals head out onto Resolute Bay sea ice for a 2-day mini expedition. This is the final part of their training before the beginning of the Polar Race 2011.
We've just stopped for our first little break. We've been going about 1.89 nautical miles. we've done about 50 minutes. Stop for about 5 minutes to have some food and some water. And to carry on to waypoint 1, which is somewhere over there, about 0.1 nautical miles away. Then we'll turn the corner and head along the bay to waypoint 2 through the rubble, which should be interesting.
We're going into ice rubble now. It's going to be interesting to see what it's like. It looks beautiful. I think in about an hour and a half it'll be a bit wearing, but it's cool. It's good to be out here. It's absolutely stunning, if you can see all of that, just infinity and ice rubble. So, looking forward to the next couple of hours.
Right, this is Ryan from the Internationals, and I'm standing amongst just the most incredible ice field, and it's ice rubble all over the place. I truly have never experienced anything like this in my life. It's just gorgeous. There's just like art among ice. It may sound funny, but it's really quite spectacular. It's starting to get quite cold out here and blowing, but it's just gorgeous. I'm really enjoying myself.
First time in the ice rubble, so I think we're doing pretty well so far. We're about maybe a quarter of the way through. We've got a few big boulders ahead of us to navigate through, but Ryan's doing an amazing job of navigating us, so that's great. But certainly feeling a long way from the beach in Mozambique where I trained for this. It's definitely not tropical weather where we are now, but yeah, enjoying it a lot and making good progress. No falls today so far, so we're all upright on the skis, which is great, and yeah, absolutely loving it. And really grateful for all this great equipment, because it's getting pretty toasty in here, except for when we stop, and then it gets pretty chilly pretty quickly, so yeah, better get going.
The Internationals head out into some of the most extreme sea ice conditions we've seen, but worryingly did not make it into camp on time. This is the mini expedition first campsite. We have 2 teams in. And somewhat slightly worryingly, I've been to the top of this hill and there is absolutely no sign whatsoever of any of the other teams. They've just, or the other team I should say, they've completely vanished. Brilliant, they've turned up, we've found them. Just about a mile away from camp. Hey, Team International, how are you doing? You've just come out of the awesome rubble field.
Yes.
I think everyone else chose to come out a little bit earlier.
I think others chose not to go to waypoint 2, and that's why they made it out much earlier.
Yeah, I think they went to waypoint 2, but they came immediately back out.
No, they did not. We were following their tracks, and they went off they left it about 0.6 nautical miles before they even hit it.
Really?
They turned the opposite direction.
Pretty hard going, huh?
Oh my goodness, it's tough.
Very.
So I bet you can't wait to get in your tents and get a brew on.